Hello? Oh, you can't make it. Oh, you silly goose. Oh. PV, hey, hi, hello, my name is Glew the Queen, and welcome to another episode of a surprisingly decent review of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2, Episode 2. I bet by the finale I'll finally get my tongue around saying that, but for now, we struggle, and we accept it because we're in lockdown, and people do struggle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where is Joyless? Now, I do have the answer for you. Our sweet goose Joyless did get really involved in a Where's Wally book. So they are currently trying to get to France to find Wally by the Eiffel Tower. So that just leaves you and I together. Aren't you lucky? Oh. Cool. Let's just get into it. I've got nothing better to do. Well, I could be playing Animal Crossing in bed. So, we've just come for episode 1 where Estina Mandela wins the main challenge, which is a fashion show, and she represents East London and Naomi Campbell flawlessly. And then, unfortunately, on the lower end, we have Bimini Bon Boulash and Joe Black in the bottom 2, and they did a very strong lip sync for your life. And sadly, our dear old grandma Jo Black sashayed away, and Bimini Bon Boulash is here to strip another day. Woo! So coming back into the workroom, all the queens are sat together around the sofas, and Ahura is not shy to let it be known that she thought Estina should have been in the bottom for wearing an ASOS jacket. If I wore this jacket on a runway, do you think I could win the challenge? And Estina is quick to kiki and gay out, and she's spinning and dipping and death dropping around the workroom. She's confident. She won the first challenge. She has set the tone for herself, but also set the bar for other competitors. Veronica perched herself onto the floor. You just see this big, gorgeous hoop skirt, laying red river oceans around the workroom. It was gorgeous. It was so cute. I love it. And then it's a new day in the workroom. It's a new day in the workroom. All the queens come running in, holding hands, kissing, fingering each other's crevices, playing hockey. Yeah. So RuPaul walks in and starts talking about polls, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go, we've got the maypole challenge again. But no, RuPaul meant election polls, because lest we forget that election polls are very important in the UK. We may not get them right, but they're still very important. And you have 4 categories to vote for. You had trade of the season, which I don't really like the word trade because trade doesn't actually mean attractive person. So the category is the most attractive out of the cast, out of drag. The second one was shadiest. We had the cockiest, and then we had the most basic. We had cute little segments of the queens, marking along, being very secretive. And there were some dirty, vulgar jokes about the Brit Crew and their ballot box. But I mean, hi, if you want to stuff mine, you know where I am. I shouldn't smile, look fucking creepy. RuPaul reveals that the shadiest queen was voted as Ahura. And she was a bit, okay. Taste was voted the most attractive out of drag, and she was very shocked. I wasn't shocked, but she was very shocked. And then Miss Estina Mandela gets deemed the cockiest. And then Miss Tia Coffee gets deemed the most basic. Do I agree with where people place in these polls? Well, I don't have to tell you, actually. I didn't vote, so why do you bloody need to know? So after being voted the most basic, Tia finds out that she gets to be the casting director in the new musical Rats. Yeah, they're really going there this year. Tia says in her confessional that she has 1 or 2 ways to go. She could either be a massive bitch and get vengeance and payback for people saying that she's basic, or she could be really nice and just kind of see what people want and show that she's a nice, forgiving person. I'd have done the first one. I'd have been like, you want to be Jane? Okay, cool. You're playing the bin. Who do you want to be? Oh, you want to be the stripper mouse? Okay, cool. No, you can play my high heel. There's a little bit of tension when Veronica and Cherry both want to be the sexy stripper rat. And Cherry's like, I can sing, I know I can do it, I can turn it out. And Ahura's like, I've seen Cherry perform, she's great, she's fab. And then Veronica goes, well, have you seen me perform? And straight away Ahura goes, no. Veronica ends up getting the role because Tia is familiar with Veronica's performances and she knows that Veronica can do a good job, and she's very excited. You know, she's had 15 years of experience waiting for this moment right now. And by this moment, I'm in cross-dressing on BBC Three, dancing as a rat. So we get into the vocal rehearsals and we have Michelle Visage and her vocal coach. And, you know, we get to see little snippets of how the queens can sing. Now, understandably, with her 15 years of experience, Veronica really stands out in this segment. You know, she's hitting those notes, she's learning those lyrics. Michelle seems impressed, the vocal coach seemed impressed, my mum was impressed, and she's a tough, tough critic. Oh, Veronica, what's your range like? And she's like, oh, I can go quite high. And they go, oh, how high? And then she's like, on the other end of the vocal rehearsals, Ahura was struggling a little bit to really find her character. She basically got cast as a shitty character, like a shitty, evil bitch, or something to do with diarrhea. But Michelle says, you know, you need to get a bit down and dirty. And Ahura's like, yeah, you know, I think, you know, once I get the costume on and I get in the character, I'll be able to do it. And Michelle's like, oh, is that because you're uptight in a pink turtleneck and some gorgeous trousers? Potentially. And then we move over to the dance rehearsals and Lawrence Chaney has a moment. They feel vulnerable. They don't, you know, they don't like to fail. They like to succeed. And obviously, as they've said, they're not a singer, they're not a dancer, and they just feel very exposed and uncomfortable. And this takes time away from Sister and Cherry to be able to rehearse because their main focus is, we're working as a team, let's rally around Lawrence and pick their spirits up. And we like that because that's sisterhood. So Tace and Ellie had a pretty intense choreography. Like, they had to, like, rap, sing, and do, like, proper breakdown, hip-hop street dancing. So we get into the workroom and the queens are running around. They're like, oh my god, we have to dress up as rats. Ooh, ooh. And then Sister and Cherry sat together and Sister's like, Cherry, I love having you here. I'm loving getting to know you. And Cherry's like, thanks, darling. You know, you too. Cherry lied because Sister's a vile person. Joking. Love you all. Can I have my clothes back, please? Cherry starts to get into detail about her upbringing and her family life and how she is part of a gypsy family and how she was the only gay person that she knew and how even now she's scared to admit that she's gay. And it was a really heartwarming moment to, like, see her pain and her struggle, and it was really nice of Sister to kind of just let her speak and just not interrupt and be like, yes, queen, you know, serve them wrong, like some queens have done in other seasons. And there'll be a lot of people watching at home who will relate to what she's saying. And for that, Cherry, I love you. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for inspiring millions of people that watch this show around the world. We get to the main stage, and we have our judges. We have Alan Carr, Michelle Visage, RuPaul, of course, and then we have Sheridan Smith from things like 2 Pints of Lager and a Packet of Crisps. She's a West End darling. She's been in Gavin and Stacey and other stuff. Right! Now, this musical, to me, was like an acid trip. What I really enjoyed about the musical is that the queens never really left the stage. So if they weren't singing and dancing, they were able to really channel their acting skills and be background actors. And I always love doing that because that's where you can really try and take the attention away from the star. So you're like, in the background, you're like, just flash a bit of your mini moo-moo, do a fart, pull a face, you know, just try and get a bit of attention in the background throughout the musical. Can you hear the birds? Isn't that sweet? You're going to hear birds throughout this, so deal with it. Straight up from the gate, you hear a flush of the toilet, and Estina comes scurrying out. She's a sexy roly-poly, and she's this gorgeous little white wig, and she's got these little ears, and she's a bit prissy. And we find out that she's been flushed down the toilet. In the opening number, you know, we kind of get to know the majority of the characters, all bar one. And, you know, I think from the gate, you see who stands out. Like, Ginny Lemon had this really strong character, and she was like, better than cheese. Have fun with it. God in heck, just have fun. Fuck it. Woo. So they make a really fun joke about CGI and having human hands, which is obviously them being shady the house down, mama, boots. So Cats, the actual musical, when they made it into that really terrible film with James Corden in it. We have Tace and Ellie, and they do their little their little rap, mash up RuPaul songs and make it all about rats. I think both the queens did stumble over their lyrics, but that is completely understandable with how much they had to move. You can't expect someone to have 100% strong vocals while literally having to throw their bodies around a stage, rewind, and carry on throwing their bodies around a stage. I thought both queens had great energy. You could tell they were both having fun. Did Taste seem a little bit in her head? Yes. But would I have been? Yes! Hora and Bimini, and they were very fun. They could have been on CBBC. They had these fun voices, and then Hora was dropping into this proper Cockney lad, and it was really fun. It was a big screen, and Hora really proved that once she had the costume on, she could get into that character, and she did such a good job. Bimini as well was really fun. Both the queens had good dancing, they kept the pace up, their vocals were strong, and they really, really developed into their characters. And you could tell that they were just having a good time, and they felt like these horrible, nasty rats. Then we had Sister, Cherry and Lawrence, and as we know, they kind of had a little bit of trouble in the rehearsals because, Lawrence had his moment. All three of them did quite a good job. Lawrence really stuck to the Scottish guns and really played on the accent, which was fun. Cherry, again, was very fun. She did kind of fade a little bit, but I think she still did a very good job. And for me, I'm not being biased when I say that Sister stood out among the three of them. She was just constantly in character. She was always doing fun poses, fun gestures, and even in the backgrounds when other scenes were happening, she was in character throughout, reacting, and she was doing fun poses and playing with herself, not in a dirty way. I mean, I wish she would. Again, you could kind of tell that Lawrence and Cherry did struggle, and I think that's just due to time restraints and confidence issues. Then obviously we had Veronica, and she did such an amazing job. She was this sexy, disgusting brat, showing Estina around and how dirty she could be. She did a reveal where she had these rats hanging off of her tits, and it was all pussy and scummy, and she'd rip them off. Very disgusting, very vulgar, but also very gorgeous. Loved it. Then obviously we find out that Tia Kofi emerges from the stage because she's a lab rat. She's been tested on, and she comes out singing Mammary. See what they're doing here? Ginny Lemon is alongside her. Both of them were very, very strong. Ginny's characterization was great, and she picked this amazing voice. And Ginny's also a singer, so for her to actually pick a voice to do instead was quite a bold decision, but I think it worked really well. And Tia proved that she may not be basic after all. She, in my opinion, stole the show. That was what the role was. That is a role to steal the show. And Tia did it justice. And obviously Estina was in the musical throughout, and I think she did a great job. Her vocals were genuinely quite strong. I think there were a couple of times where she got shaky, but she did a lot of moving and a lot of rolling. All in all, it was a great musical. There was great energy. It was stunning, the runway. And the theme is Surprise, Surprise, also known as reveals. So Ahura comes out, and she's got this really gorgeous suit on, and it reveals into a bridal gown. So she's saying that she's both the bride and the groom, and she's going to marry herself. The suit with the hat on itself, I was like, oh, I love this. I love it. The reveal was fun. It was there was a shock factor. It was gorgeous. It was well executed and very well put together. When she took off that hat and there's that bloody veil, I was like, I was expecting her to pluck a rabbit out of it. I thought she was going to be a bloody magician. I loved it. Then after Ahura, we had Lawrence Chaney, who comes out in this blue sparkly jumpsuit. Was it the most flattering outfit? No. But she sold it well. She did the whole thing of oh, is it a trouser reveal? No, I'm too smart for that. She rips off the sleeves, and she turns into this gorgeous tartan queen. The dress is lovely. It's a nice fit. It's very flattering on her as well. And you can tell that she feels gorgeous. And after Lawrence, we had Ginny Lemon, who comes out in these platform crocs with her yellow tights and this little dinner lady get-up. I love the outfit, first and foremost. It was great. And then she reveals into the same dress. Highly hilarious. It's such a good idea to take the concept oh, you want to reveal? Surprise, it's the same thing. But then we get the element of surprise, surprise, where she flashes her arse crack. There's a mesh panel in the dress, and RuPaul's literally this one's nice, I like that one, yeah. Yeah, that's stunning, that, yeah. I really enjoyed that one. We have Cherry Valentine coming out in this gorgeous big dress with big bows, and it's this yellow and black polka dot. I thought it was so stunning. Cherry, I know I'm a bit of a bigger girl than you are, but if I can have that big tutu dress that with the polka dots, please. Then she reveals into this little turtleneck bodycon with a little bow tie, and her whole concept is that she's pregnant and she's doing a gender reveal. Pops the balloon, and it's multicolour confetti because people shouldn't gender their babies. After Cherry, we have Tia Coffee, who comes out in a little macho man outfit, and she's stomping down the runway, and she does probably the quickest reveal into this red salsa girl 8-year-old birthday party dress. I liked the first look. I personally didn't enjoy what the look turned into. She sold it on the runway. She was dancing, she was being camped, she was spinning, but the speediness of the reveal, spectacular. Then we move on to Ellie Diamond, who comes out like the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. 2 episodes in and we've got another bloody Wizard of Oz reference. Surrender, Dorothy! She does a little spin, she's feeling cute, the makeup is gorgeous, the hair is stunning, and she rips off the dress and reveals that she is the Tin Woman. She's got a gorgeous little skater skirt on, she's camped up on the runway, like moving her legs around, and then she gets to the end and she's the Cowardly Lion. This was fucking clever. She did 3 fully realised looks and characters in 30 seconds. It was stunning. Ellie, good job. You're doing a fucking amazing job on this runway, girl. Represent. After Ellie, we have Estina Mandela, who kind of comes out, she rips off a cloak, and she's wearing this really sexy, like, Mortal Kombat, villainous, cartoony outfit. She pulls out these little weapons, these, like, spikes, and she's, like, feeling it. And then she gets to the end of the runway, rips off her mask, and she's got this, like, scabby mouth with these really sharp teeth. It scared me. My bumhole did, in fact, pucker. You're a sexy little bitch, you are. And after a scene, we have Sister coming out in this gorgeous mint do. She's got this floral gown on with a rose, and she's sniffing, she's being a bit horny and a bit cheeky, and then she rips off the dress and she's in a tattoo bodysuit with lingerie and harnesses. She's whipping, Alan shitting himself, she's wiping her ass on the bloody runway, she whips that wig off and she shows a bald cap with tattoos underneath it. The concept, the execution was perfection. Sister, I'm watching you. I liked it when she was running around and the judge was like, oh, wow, yeah, wow. I'd have gone, get up, you stupid cow, you look fucking ridiculous. Veronica Green comes out and she's got a very low wig line and she's kind of this like Stepford housewife from the 50s, and then she kind of drops the tray and then she reveals into being this fembot sex robot machine in high heels. She looks fun. Again, she made this look herself. Like, she's good at a sewing machine, I must admit. That was great. Cut open your brain and share it out. It's got a good mind on you, darling. Come on now. Taste comes out and she's got this red cloak on and it reveals into this gorgeous like jumpsuit with a coat. The coat comes off and she's got this sexy bodysuit on, and then she spits blood all down herself. She had these splatters on her face. Like, she looked stunning. Her hair and makeup, I'm jealous. And then lastly, we have Bimini Bon Boulash. Her wig looks like a parsnip. She's got this really well-constructed corset on with these love heart balloons. And she's walking down the runway and I'm thinking, oh, what's she going to do? What's she going to do? Pop in the balloons. She goes, fuck these balloons. Party's over. Pop, pop, pop. Bits of paint do come out. Now, unfortunately, I feel like the paint might have dried out under the stage lighting. So the execution wasn't the best, but the concept was stunning and so good. She just looked amazing. Like, the reveal might not have gone to plan, but you can't deny that Bimini looked fucking stunning. Oh, Donald Trump's out of office now, isn't he? Yeah, nice. Good. So then RuPaul calls 5 of the queens forward and says, good job, girls, you're safe. And then we are left with Ellie Diamond, Veronica Green, Tia Coffee, Tace, Lawrence Chaney and Cherry Valentine. And they represent the tops and the bottoms of the week. So Lawrence opens up on the runway about, feeling uncomfortable and just, taking her time to get into it. And, the judges kind of say, you felt a bit reserved. The look, well, Alan said it was like Cirque du Soleil compared to some of the others. And I must say, the runway was a little bit weak this week. Week and week, I rhymed. Pardon me. Then we had Cherry Valentine, and she gets critiqued on her look again being a bit predictable. I didn't expect her to be pregnant. I thought something was going to happen with the balloon. I expected her to reveal into a bikini and kind of be like, you know, tinsy wincy, teeny weeny, whatever that bloody song's called. The song about the yellow bloody bikini, you know the one I mean. She's also critiqued in the Rouge School for just not standing out enough, and I think she had a tough role, so cut her some slack. Then we move over to Tia Kofi, and first of all, Alan hated her outfit. He hated the reveal. They didn't like the wig. Alan literally said that her dress was shit. But she gets praised for the Rusical, for standing out, you know, having the ear on her back, for when the Rusical ends, she like dragged herself off the stage, which was highly comedic. And they just said, Tia babe, you may be basic, but this week you were a star. Just work on your wardrobe a bit. I agree with what the judges said. I think Tia did a really good job in the Rusical. She really stood out, but also she did a good job casting-wise. Was her outfit the best on the runway? No. She's a fun-time gal. She loves it. She loves it. She does. Does Alan love it? No. But Alan likes Bruno Mars. Then we have Ellie Diamond, and she is placed high this week, and they say, like, in the Rusical, she was a little bit shaky, but she had a strong character, she had good energy, she was going for it, and they loved her runway. They absolutely loved it. They said this was so clever, this was fun, good reference. RuPaul loves Wizard of Oz. If you didn't know, RuPaul absolutely loves Wizard of Oz. And they praise Ellie. They say, you know, like, she is modern day drag, and I agree. I think she has really strong looks. I think her paint is one of the best we've seen in such a long time. And I think she has a good personality. She has a good, like, she's a good character. Hun, if you want to say your opinions, you can join the Zoom. Then we have Veronica Green, and again, she is praised for her runway. They loved the concept. Obviously, they did clock her hairline being about here. And then obviously, once she did the reveal, it made sense. They love the robot look she had, and Alan says, thank you for wearing a high heel, it's nice to see that. And she's like, cheers mate, yeah, no wazza. We love to see it. They love her in the Rusical. They say she stood out, she had good personality, she had good character, and her voice stood out too. This is a really defining moment for Veronica, because for me, last week, she did kind of fade into the back a bit, like found her almost forgetful. But this week, she was at the forefront, and she was saying, I'm here to win. And the judges saw that, and they loved it. Then we go over to Taste, and the judges kind of say she was a bit shaky in the Rusical and seemed a bit unsure of herself, and then she was also critiqued for her outfit, not really being surprising, having the red blood fall onto her red outfit, and then Michelle calls her out for being able to see her corset. And yes, Taste could have put a red panel into the outfit, but that would have added bulk to it, and then they would have complained that her shape wasn't correct. Just saying. While the judges deliberate, the girls go and untuck in the workroom, and they're greeted by the Save Queens. And Sister says to Lawrence, like, oh, what did they say to you? You know, they said I struggled. Sister makes a point of being like, you know, babe, like, we just want to help you and just see, like, how can you be comfortable? How can we work through this? Because, again, they were working as a close group of 3. And if one person's off or not feeling it, it affects the others. And Lawrence just goes off on Sister and calls her an arsehole and says this, that and the other, and then she's crying out of her bum. And I personally don't agree with Lawrence's response. Like, Sister was just trying to help out and just kind of say, like, you were in your head, we tried to help you, but you weren't taking it on. And I just think Lawrence retaliated in a very childish way, which is sad to see because I enjoy Lawrence on the show and I love what they have to offer to Drag Race. And then Cherry makes it clear that the other queens aren't really paying attention to her. They're asking how Lawrence and Tace are, but not really talking to her. And that's sad, because Cherry is so talented and she's so nice to the other queens. So when no one was really interacting with her, I was just wanting to run through that screen and hug her, but not actually hug her because we're in COVID times. You're gorgeous, you are. You're good at makeup. You're very nice. You're working. You're doing good things for the world, Cherry. Don't you forget, okay? Very gorgeous, very nice. And then we go back to the main stage. And Veronica Green is the winner of episode 2. Congratulations to Veronica. She had a gorgeous, sexy, cheeky, smart and clever runway. And she also had a very amazing, stellar performance in the Rusical. So Veronica, congratulations. This week you were number 1. Keep up the good work, you cheeky minx. And then we have our bottom 3 as Lawrence Chaney, Tace and Cherry Valentine. And Lawrence Chaney is deemed safe. So that leaves us with Cherry Valentine and Tace in the bottom two. Midnight, not a sound on the pavement. Has the moon lost memory? And the lip sync song this week is Memory from the musical Cats, and it is the Elaine Page version. Oh, excuse my eyelashes. Oh la la, they're a bit annoying today, so apologies. And the lip sync is gorgeous. You know, people were saying it's a hard song to do, and I don't think it's a case of it being a hard song. I think it's a different song for the Drag Race franchise, which I enjoy. Every week we kind of have upbeat, club, dancey, Heart FM music. So it was nice that this week we kind of had something classic, sophisticated, and both queens did an amazing job. They showed that lip sync is all about emotion and conveying character. Both the queens did a beautiful job, and you could tell that they did such a good job because the judges were crying. Ginny Lemon, bless her soul, was bawling her eyes out in the back. And even Estina Mandela was really feeling herself in the background. So Estina, I was watching you. You were slaying it, my darling. Tace delivered a bit more passion and emotion than Cherry. And for that, Tace is deemed safe. Tace, Shantae, you stay. She goes, thank you, darling. Hugs Cherry. She says, right, I'm going to go to the back now. I'm going to get an asthma pump because I'm so nervous. And she's there and she's like, okay, right, I've done it, girls. Top 10. RuPaul turns to Cherry and is like, you know, roses are red, violets are blue. Miss Cherry Valentine, we'll miss you. And Ru, I agree, we will miss Cherry too. Now, I don't really get emotional when queens get eliminated on Drag Race, but this week I found myself tearing up at Cherry Valentine. Just her final words on that runway were so beautiful and amazing. Like, you've given me a kick up the arse, and I'm not going to let people overlook me. Cherry, you are honestly one of the most stunning drag queens to ever grace the stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, UK, US, Canada, or Holland. Like, you stand out. And yeah, unfortunately, Cherry Valentine has sashayed away, and we move on from 11 to 10. And next week will be a sewing challenge. I love the sewing challenges because most of these bitches can't fucking sew. Just from the little teaser, it looks like Tace might struggle again. She sewed a sleeve closed. Now, I can't judge because recently I was sewing a dress, it was going really well until I put the sleeve on the neck hole. So yes, my name has been Glew the Queen. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at glewthequeen_. You can probably find me... is my Bebo account still up? Am I still on Bebo? But anyway, I've been sexy and juicy. You've been entertained? Have ya? Let me know. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And remember... Bye!